Wow. We knew it was coming eventually. We didn't know if it'd be tonight. We didn't know if it'd be Friday. We didn't know when it was going to be. But Money in the Bank ends with, Nick, a massive pop. Massive. Roman Reigns beats Edge, and then the music hits. John Cena returns. Comes to the ring, starts talking to Roman a little bit, and they go off the air. They just end the pay-per-view. So now you have to tune in Friday, which we talked about. We'll get into that in a second. But Nick,
Perfect.
Before we get into the whole pay-per-view, obviously the headline is the end of this show. John Cena is back. We knew it was coming. What do you think, though, about the way they did it? This works for me. This works for me. And the crowd, holy crap, dude. Pop of the night, pop of the year, pop of maybe the last few years, Nick.
I think people forgot how much they supposedly hated John Cena.
Yeah, they hate him, right? Yeah.
How you people miss him now? You see how much? I mean, and me and you, we'll sit here and I'll say I'm not a fan of like CM Punk, but I would be an idiot to say the product is better without him.
Yes.
Just because I don't like the product is obviously worse without Cena. And before we even go, Ryan, I'm going to say Cena is also a lot like Hogan. Not in the fact Hogan hulks up a lot. The fact that for a guy that stinks and people think can't wrestle, people have sure had a lot of good matches with this guy.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's had their best match.
I'm super excited to see this guy back. I'm super excited to hear him talk. I know it's only for a limited time, and I'm not even a fan of part-timers. But, man, I'm freaking excited. We wanted to see this, and you were right. The way they did it, you want to hear what I have to say? Tune into SmackDown.
See you Friday.
Yep, see you Friday.
It just, the cord just cut. Like, it wasn't even a Shivani, we got to go, see you next. It just went off the air. And so you're like, whoa, wait. He didn't acknowledge him. Acknowledge him. He didn't acknowledge him. He didn't. So what's going to happen Friday now? Do they start right out of the gate? Yes. What do you do?
Yes. One of those two has to hit the ring first, right? And again, I'm just going to poke a jab at the way they book again. Isn't this better than advertising that Cena was going to be there? That's how you don't advertise. Everybody's like, we got to advertise because we got to get the pop. No,
they just advertised tonight. They advertised it tonight.
Yes, he didn't say anything. That's how you do it. You don't tell us he's coming.
We know he's going to be there now. Yes.
Right.
Good call by you, because we talked about that. It was like, well, what do you do if he doesn't just show up? Now, do you advertise he's going to be at the pay-per-view? That way you get more pay-per-view buys, or do you advertise he's going to be there Friday? Because you don't want him to just show up, because if you advertise, then you're going to get more viewers. But no, they did their advertising tonight. They knew Money in the Bank would sell itself. He shows up, free advertisement right there. Now everyone will watch Friday. Dude, that pop was as big as anything I've heard in quite a long time. And everybody can sit here and tell me about the other channel and some pops and things that are going on the other channel. Dude, this was massive. And this is a brand new building, and it's not Madison Square Garden. There wasn't 25,000 people in there. There was only about 9,000 people in there. This is a new, smaller building. Dude.
It was awesome.
Massive.
And it wasn't a sing-along. This was a real pop. It wasn't a sing-along to some catchy music or, just hand gesture.
Yeah.
But awesome, man. And the match itself, I don't know. I kind of felt the first half was pretty slow. I didn't hate it, but it was a little long. It felt, and I think because it was slower, but it was okay. It wasn't the best match either guy has ever put on. I don't think it's going to go down as the worst match either.
No.
But You knew, I think after them, and we'll talk about the Money in the Bank match, Seth Rollins cuts a promo right after the Money in the Bank match. I text you, it's on, he's coming in.
Right.
And sure
Which
enough,
we called the other day.
we did. And I'm sitting there watching it with Stephanie here, and as soon as Edge countered that spear, I was like, he's coming back again. I mean, this guy, and he did. And we kind of, you know what? I'll give him credit again. This match was great for the way it was. And this is why I say I don't care about the workage of the match. It's the finish of the match. You had a little stare down between the two of them that left something maybe to resolve down the road between the former Shield members.
Yep.
There was the point, you looking at this? Yeah, I'm looking at that. That belongs to me. And then before anything, Edge kind of messed it up. So maybe they can have their feud, and I don't know if Roman and Seth feud down the road, but you got something.
Maybe that happens in the fall.
Because you got a lot of time before Mania. You still got to fill pay-per-views.
Yep, we got 9 months or whatever it is until April of next year when allegedly The Rock is going to happen against John Cena. So we got plenty, or excuse me, against Roman Reigns. Yes, and they planted this going back a couple of months when those two were in the back, kind of did the same thing, and they were boys, and then they got in the ring together, and Seth, you thought he was going to beat up Roman, but he beat up, and I don't even remember who it was, he beat up the other guy, and so this has been planted for quite a long time. You would have to be blind to not see this coming today in the finish. The match itself, it was a little long. I don't know what the time was. It was probably 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. It was a very long match. It was probably 30 minutes. Yeah. Good match though. Good match. It
wasn't bad.
And yeah, like it could have been 10 minutes shorter, but then in the end, yes, Seth comes out. Seth kicks Edge in the back of the head while Roman is in his hold with the thing again across his mouth, the chair leg across his mouth. Seth boots him in the back of the head. Roman spears him. That's the end of it. Yay. Okay, Roman's the winner. He thinks he's sweet. All of a sudden, Cena's music hits. Cena, place goes nuts. Cena comes in. The only thing they did, he was still standing there, and Cena just kind of looked at him and walked past him and went up to the turnbuckle. And then they go off the air. We'll find out what happens on Friday, but that's your main event for SummerSlam. It is all set. The rumors were true. Again, like you said, not a big fan of the part-timers, but at this point, they have nothing. There is nothing for him to do. He has run through everyone. And now Edge, who's a part-timer, now he ran through Edge. There's nobody left, dude. So you have to do the John Cena thing here. I'm okay with it. I don't know where they're going to go exactly with it, but I'm okay with it because John Cena is still John Cena, and he has not had a real match now in over 2 years. Think about that. His last time he was in the ring, and he wasn't even in the ring, was the Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania 36. It's been a long time since we've seen this dude. I'm perfectly fine with this. I think they're going to build a real cool story here. I think it's great. And Roman, you wondered how it was going to translate with a crowd? Dude, watch him walk to the ring. Watch him walk to the ring Friday. Watch him walk to the ring today. Oh, my gosh. He's so good. He's so good, man.
Ryan, the last thing I'll say, and the only thing I'll say, they better be careful about a free mic with Cena. You
saw what he did to The Rock.
And I don't care what people say because it's on the network. You can go watch it. That is the worst moment in the career of, I don't want to say Rocky Maivia when he came out, since The Rock, that was a bad moment in time, dude. When Cena lit him up,
and it wasn't just one moment. It was a bad 3 weeks.
So I would be very
murdered
careful.
Him.
This guy is, right there behind like Nas and Eminem if you call him out. So be careful because this guy will run his mouth and he is very good at it.
Oh gosh, you got to hope I think this might be different because those two legit had bad blood, and I think they probably did just say, "Hey, let's call it in the ring. Let's do our promos. Let's call it in the ring." And then Cena like verbally assassinated The
Yeah, he
Rock.
did.
Now, this I think is going to be different. There's a storyline here. There's something they're going to go with. He might get a shot in here and there, but I think there's going to be bullet points. Hey, you need to say this, this, and this, and and Roman's going to say this. I don't think they're going to let him murder him the way.
You don't think? Well, he's a part, and that was Cena was the main eventer. He was the constant with The Rock and everything like that. The Rock
Now
was the
he's the
part-timer.
Rock. Yeah.
Right, he's the part-timer. I'm excited for this match, man. I don't care. I know, like I said, I'm not a part-time guy, but this should be cool. We have not seen face Cena versus heel Roman, so this is cool to me.
We saw him at in the September pay-per-view.
Was it
in
2017 or something like that?
2017, yeah, and it kind of came out of nowhere. That's right when the network was they were trying to make every pay-per-view something because they were trying to sell subs every single month, not just at WrestleMania, not just at SummerSlam and Rumble time. They were trying to sell them in the fall and the spring and whenever. So anyway, that's how it ended. I think it's great.
Me too.
I think it's going to be great. I thought that couldn't have been better, the way they executed it and the cutting off of the cord. Just see you Friday, boys. See you Friday, boys. Hey, let's jump to the beginning. Before the pay-per-view, the pre-show match. Nick, you think this is the match of the night, the Usos against the Mysterios. We knew it'd probably be a very good worked match. What do you think about it? Usos, now the champs. The bloodline has a whole lot of gold right now.
It was awesome. I'll take a shot right off. What was the entering three? Did you see the beginning of this match? Dominic and Ray.
Not the very beginning.
Dominic and Ray enter through a portal. It's they're on the Titantron, okay, and they're in this other like galaxy, and a portal opens.
What are they hanging out with a fiend?
Yeah, they're in the fiend. They went in the third door.
Yeah, they went. Yeah,
they took a wrong turn.
There's the men's restroom, the women's restroom, and then the fiend's other galaxy right next to. Yeah.
But I don't know. It was weird or interesting depending on how you saw it. Then they came out and it was like out of a portal onto the stage. I'll give him. I'm going to say this because I owe him an apology. I thought Dominic would not be on the program this time this year when I watched him last year. I thought he's too small. I didn't think he looked good. He had a great night tonight. The kid can definitely work.
He can work.
Here's my question to you, though. Can he continue to have a successful career when he separates from his father? That's when he goes on his own eventually, because he's going to have to at some point, right? He can't, he's probably, unless he tags with his dad forever. He's again, I assume we're going to see a rematch at SummerSlam. This is what I'm hoping.
Well, they have no other tag teams, so
and maybe they lose again and Dominic blames him.
Well, we wondered about that going back to when they won the tag belts, because they did the whole thing where Ray was fighting alone and then Dominic ran down in the middle and then it went the other way. And
right.
So we've kind of wondered that for a little bit now, if that's where they're going. But the thing you bring up is the same thing we talked about a year ago. Even though those matches were terrible, and it wasn't because he didn't work well. It was the story. It was, you dug my dad's eye out of his.
Well, and he also doesn't have a great look. I'm sorry. He doesn't have he looks like a teenager kind of.
Well, yeah, he does. In the outfit he has doesn't help. And I don't know why he has that onesie on. I don't know if there's something going on with his upper body where or they just think wear this onesie. That doesn't work for me at all. No. But even going back a year, those matches with Rollins that seemed to go on forever and ever, he did work well.
Yeah, I
just didn't buy it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm curious. Can he go without his dad? I don't know. Match was awesome. I thought it was back and forth action. Dominic came off the top. Usos catch him at a couple. This is one of my two favorite moments. and just slam him into the barricade. I thought that was sweet. And I don't know why. I loved, I think it was Jimmy jumped in front of the 619 and took the shot for Jey Uso. And it just the family, right? This is for the family.
Yes.
I keep calling that. I don't know what their stable
The
name
bloodline.
is.
The bloodline.
Sure, whatever you want to call it. It just match was great and a great, interesting finish. You know, he kicked it, just something different. He helped hold him over. They cheated to win the belts. I'm excited. I said this on the last show. I'm excited to see the family, the bloodline with all the gold now. They've got the straps.
And this is something you and I have been calling for going back years when Roman was a good guy. We're like, yep. It's not hard. Put him with his cousins, maybe put him with an enforcer or a worker, put him with a Dolph, put him with a Samoa Joe, who's Samoan bloodline, put him with them, have a faction, let them have all the gold. Looks like we're going that way now. Finally, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. I'll comment on
who else I think. There's one other person I think that might work in that as we move on here. But in that little stable if you had. But I'll let you go. But, yeah, great match. What a way to start the show. On this match, there's about 3 other matches on here that should have maybe been on the pre-show over this match. This match was awesome.
Absolutely. So then we start the actual pay-per-view. First match, ladies. Money in the Bank match. I will let you go on this. I will just say, I will start it by saying this is the worst Money in the Bank match of all time. And I'll let you go.
2 of the worst moments. I'll keep piggybacking. Alexa Bliss mind controls Selena Vega down.
On the ladder. Down the ladder. Then why didn't she just
climb and get?
Why didn't she do it to all of them?
Yeah, why doesn't she just mind control everybody and
from
win
the jump?
Match?
Why don't? Is there a rule in mind control that you can only do one? Like, why don't you just do it at the beginning? Why don't you just do that in every match you're in? You go, lay down, 1, 2, 3, match is over. It's insanity.
I'm not going to blame Alexa because it's her gimmick. It's not her. It's
they told her to do it.
And then they all team up on the girl, and they pile the ladders on. This is a shot for the world title, a cash-in, a money. Everybody's just standing on the clapping like, yeah, we got her. The match, that's the best part. It just looked super weird, fake to me. They all slam ladders on her.
It's terrible.
It wasn't good. Several bad spots in this. And dude, Nikki Cross, like, if I'm in the creative and we're like, all right, guys, just to throw out some ideas, who we thinking is going to win this? If someone said, nah, you're fired, get out. Like, no, she's not win. There were 3 people in this who I said should not win. Any of the other people I could work with. Nikki Cross or Nikki ASH or whatever, Tamina and Natalya. Those 3 should not have won this match. And I sat there, and this match was terrible through it, terrible finish. This girl is not ready for the strap. No one wants to see her with the strap. I'll let you go, Ryan.
What's her name? Nikki Ash, which just started a month ago. Out of nowhere, she is like the second coming of Hurricane Helms or something. Is that what this is supposed to be? Nikki Ash. What does Ash stand for, Nick?
Almost a superhero?
Almost superhero, right? Almost. What do they call their wrestlers? They don't call them wrestlers. They call them superstars. Superstar, superhero, kind of the same thing. You're telling me she's almost a superstar? That's what you're telling me. She's not quite a superstar. She's almost. and she wins your Money in the Bank, this almost good, and she's the one that wins. This chick that's not quite a superstar. Get out of here. You have got to be kidding me, man. This is a massive joke. This is Hurricane Helms. Hurricane Helms, and a bad Hurricane Helms, if you can even imagine that. Just won. Almost Hurricane Helms just won your Money in the Bank. That tells you where your women's division is at. Because you and I talked earlier, and we're like, this match is nothing but has-beens and never was. Asuka has been. Naomi has been. Even though they still can contribute, but there has been. The way they are treating them is has-beens. And then there's the never was. Zelina Vega never was. Liv Morgan never was. Nikki Cross never was. Alexa should be, but she's hampered with this awful gimmick. And they put it on the almost superstar. Like, how do you even promote that? You're almost good. That's like in the NBA promoting the 8th guy off the Pistons bench. Mm-hmm. It's a joke, man. It's a joke.
Put Naomi with the family.
Go on that, because you and I talked about it last night.
Why can't they have a female in the group, man? She's not. She comes out with
part
glow
of the family.
Sticks. She's got glow sticks, dude. She just comes out twirling glow crap. She's not cool.
And that's 4 years old now.
And she is a great worker, man. She is awesome.
Yep.
Put her with the family, the bloodline. She is now part of the line, you know? Why can't they have and she could escort the Usos to the ring. She could not only be a women's competitor, maybe even champion, and bring more gold to them. She could act as a managerial position for Usos. Maybe if you're bringing a Samoa Joe, she could also make it really tough to beat these guys, because she's not just, when I say manager, she's not just a manager interfering. If she hits you, a WWE female superstar is hitting
former
you. It's not
champion.
It's not Bobby the Brain. It's not Jimmy Hart. This is someone who people know can probably kick the butt of many guys out there.
A lot of them on Wednesday night. And you freshen up her gimmick as well. You know, the glow thing was cool at first, but that's been over 4 years now. Yeah. And it's been about at least 2 years since it went anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere in a long time. So it's time for that to go. No, you're right. And especially if we are doing something eventually where The Rock is fighting Roman, you would think the family is going to split. Well, right now, the family is 2 guys. You got to have more than 2 guys to make this work, to make it personal. Get Naomi in there. Maybe get a Samoa Joe, even though he's the only Samoan guy who isn't part of their actual family.
Make up some story. They trained together. They knew each other back in the day. Make up a story. Who the hell cares?
Go get Jacob Fatu. Go get Tamina. Go get Naya. Put them in this as well. Get Alpha and Sika in this thing. Get everybody in this, and half of them go with Roman, half of them go with The Rock. You got to have more than 2. Hopefully they do
just
that.
Throw him in. You told me Apollo was a Nigerian prince, okay? You can throw Samoa Joe in here and say he's somehow related.
You can throw anybody in there.
3 times over, whatever.
You could tell me Riddle is like a third cousin twice removed. Like,
okay, all right.
Yeah. You could definitely do it, man. So Roman's in the back. If it weren't for you, nobody would be here. If it weren't for me, Jimmy is weirded out. I will say that boring chance breakout, which we were worried about. Boring chance breakout during this. Because it's the same thing over and over again. You and I said from the get-go, you better, what are you going to do? You got to do something. Anyway. So then we get to the match you just put up. AJ and Almas against the Viking Raiders. I didn't watch this match. I had things to do. I had to let my dog out. I left. Tell me about it, Nick.
after the bad Money in the Bank match, the last thing I want to see is the freaking Viking Raiders, man. And again, these two might be usable. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm saying the Viking Raiders gimmick
Not looking
is
like what they're looking like behind you.
awful.
Not looking like that. They're not.
Crowd was popping AJ Styles. There was no pop for the Viking Raiders. They wanted AJ, almost throwing AJ. Big point. He threw AJ out of the ring into a Hurricane Rana on one of the Viking Raiders. That was pretty sick.
Yep.
Almost, I don't know how he takes, like, I don't even know. There were a couple moments like this guy's indestructible. He takes like a forearm and he's down on the outside for 45 seconds to a minute as AJ's it just doesn't make sense. He gets tagged in. He can't do, and I was counting. He does, I think, at the most 4 moves, and that's counting punches and kicks. And then he's tags back out. This guy, you can see why AJ's with him. It reminds me a lot of the Colossal Connection, where Andre's done. I mean, obviously, almost is not done, but he just can't move. He can't carry a match. So Haku got in there, carried the matches for Andre. Well, Andre kind of just stood on the ropes, hit a guy a couple times, and that was it.
Maybe does the finish, and that's it.
And that's what Amos did. To this point, I just don't think, I'm glad they won. This tag team hasn't helped either of these guys, man. They don't defend the titles. They're never seemingly in sync. I sent you that link. AJ Styles is 7 losses in his last 8 matches prior to this match right here.
He's lost every Monday for at least a month and a half.
It's terrible what's happened to him since he's got this. I'd argue he's worse in this tag team than he has ever been in the WWE right now. This has just been awful. They need to start winning if this is going to go anywhere, and winning on Raw and non-title, not losing at all. Because these guys, I forget they even have the titles, man.
Right.
I mean, this has not been good. This match was not a good match. Maybe because I just didn't want to see anybody in that, and almost his ability. Again, he's Giant Gonzalez of our era.
Here we go after that with a Drew McIntyre interview. And here is a big thing we were wondering. What is going to happen when Drew gets in front of fans? We saw it at Mania. They liked him. Whatever. Well, a lot has changed since Mania, Nick. A lot has changed. Apparently, every Monday is story time with Drew. Drew does an interview, and Nick, they booed. Audible boos for Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I mean, what your thoughts on that? Like we have been, since he showed up with the sword, we have crapped on it because they made him a stupid cartoon character. Then they made it story time. Then he painted his face like he's Willie Wallace. And
you're not
crowd crapped on this.
That's just what they did to him. Then you're forgetting he lost to Randy Orton. Then he lost to Roman Reigns. Then he lost to Sheamus. Then he lost to Bobby Lashley. Then he's been losing to guys constantly, man.
Whether it's interference or whatever, he's still losing.
I don't care. He still loses.
Yep.
They have taken all momentum away from this guy. Again,
it's over.
I'm still a McIntyre fan. I like the guy, but you got to find some way to reboot this. This is not going well.
Story time with Drew is terrible.
Swords,
it's terrible.
Swords and losing and face. This is just awful. It's bad.
So then we get the Raw title match, WWE title match. You and I talked the other day. We thought because of the change in Lashley's attitude at the end of Raw, he needed to squash Kofi. We didn't know if that was going to happen or not. But we said, dude, if this guy's really like, hey, no more girls, no this, no that, no play, we are here to fight. He needs to squash this guy. Nick, he didn't do it in 10 seconds. He didn't do it Lesnar style, but he did it. He squashed Kofi.
He did, and I thought it was awesome. I tell you, the announcers covered that, though. He had him in a full Nelson fairly, it wasn't seconds into the match, but it was about midway through the match, and he just hip tossed him and threw him out of it. And I give credit there. One of the announcers said he is toying with this guy.
Right.
He's
just playing around with him.
And then there was no offense mounted. I think this is awesome if you're setting up Lashley and Goldberg, which I hope it is. I'm sorry, Lashley, Lesnar. We may have to take Goldberg. Really a big push to get Lashley back on his track. You've got to do something with Kofi.
Something different.
Dude, he got slammed into the ring post. The crowd was behind Kofi when he came down. He got a big pop coming out.
Massive pop, Nick.
Big pop.
Massive. One of the biggest of the night. To that point, the biggest.
And I'll say this, dude. The crowd chanting for Bobby to punish him in the middle of the match illustrates one thing to me. Fans like domination. They like guys that smash. You look, or just even win. You look at how big guy, perfect, Goldberg. These guys that come in and Roman right now, Hulk Hogan, his era, the Ultimate Warrior. These guys come in and smash and win. And I know people are saying, oh, they won't beat everybody. That's what makes it great when they do lose. Yep. And people want to see. I look back on this. I wish Bobby had smashed every freaking guy like this.
Same thing we talked about with Drew. The last few weeks, he keeps losing, and you're like, he's losing his momentum because you keep having him get pinned. Like, this guy's a killer.
Dude, what if Bobby had smashed and fought less? What if he had fought basically only on pay-per-views since Mania, maybe a match here or there, but smashed every opponent like Kofi, and then Goldberg comes out Monday? You've got the original smash kill guy who did this to John Cena, this to Kofi Kingston.
Ran through everybody.
The new smash guy, muscle. This would be so much bigger if Bobby hadn't been pinned 3 or 4 times since WrestleMania. But I liked what they did. They're setting this up, and let's get Kofi off the air for a while, man. Let's get rid of this face. Let's see heel Kofi. He's got to snap now.
And if you missed what we said a couple of days ago on our preview show, on our SmackDown review, click right up here. You can see it. And basically the point was, let's have him get squashed, feel bad, which we didn't see this, in the back, Big E and Xavier maybe try to console him or something. He's like, not quite to the Corbin where he's down in the dumps and he loses his house and all this, but he feels bad. He knows something needs to change. He goes away for a while. Then when he comes back 1 month, 8 months later, whatever it is, he's pissed. He's pissed. He's got a chip on his shoulder and he's got a brand new attitude, and maybe he is a heel. I'd love to see that.
Dude, I think they may be setting it. He ruins Big E's cash in.
That would be,
because I said,
what a better way to turn heel.
It's a mistake to get Big E his first title on a cash in. He's got to win, earn, get that title.
Well, that's cashing in is a heel move.
Yes.
That's why the Money in the Bank is so stupid. It's a heel move to cash in on somebody when they're down after a match.
Right.
That's what a heel would do. That's not what a babyface would do.
This could work, though, if he ruins it for Big E. He comes back. I've been here for double the amount of time you have. I've received half the amount of title shots you have. This stuff, just the jealousy has burnt over, and Kofi takes it out on Big E.
That would be amazing.
Big E,
screw
Kofi,
you. If I can't have the belt, you can't either.
Yep.
That would be awesome. All right. So to me, other than the issues with Peacock, which we'll get into, this was, other than Cena, the second most important or standout, whatever you want to say, of the night. This was the second biggest thing that stood out to me.
They did well with their chance.
Rhea against Charlotte. They crapped on this from the get-go. They crapped on this because, and nobody's breaking news here. This is nothing new. Everybody knows that this was a horrible build. Everybody knows they have botched Rhea coming onto the main roster. Everybody knows everyone is sick of Charlotte. No one wanted to see this for the third time. The crowd let them know that. We want Becky. We want Becky over and over and over. To their credit, both of these women are great workers, and they turn the crowd back on their side. But that doesn't excuse the fact that, okay, they saw a good match, but in the end, the storyline is still the same. The match is over, and you're right back where you were. You are still not caring about either of these women. You praised the women for doing a good job, for doing their job and doing it excellently. But their characters are still where they were 15 minutes earlier. They still suck. They're still nowhere. So, yes, they did chant, "This is awesome." They did get an ovation and all of that. They did do their job. But in the end, where are either of these girls right now? Where are they? They're right where they were, except for now the belt's on Charlotte instead of on Rhea.
You nailed it. And then you saw Charlotte even try some cheap heat with the middle finger. Little MJF there. Little cheap heat. But fans, like I said, match had a lot of big moves. What I didn't like about the match, and it was okay. That's why I'm going to say it's okay. Another match that's eerily resembles Michael's Undertaker. Huge moves where they both pop up. I can't believe that didn't finish them.
You saw the facials
all the time. They both, especially Charlotte. How many times did she pop up and was like, "Oh my God"? And as the match it just went on, she tapped. I'm sorry, a tap is worse than a pin to me.
Absolutely.
Man.
He quit.
She. I don't care that her knee got smashed. That's part of the match, man. She lost and she submitted. I said this on the show you had earlier. We did just a day or so earlier. I wondered if Vince, because I had heard and read stuff online that Vince was very iffy on this girl and that he was ready to maybe pull the rug out from under her, similar to what he did to Otis, that he just wasn't seeing her.
Right.
And he may have done that, dude, because this was a very uneventful run for her as champion.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say it's terrible.
Yeah.
She feuded with one person, and Charlotte, the entire time. And in the end, she lost.
She loses again to Charlotte. I mean, this is
now in 2 years, there's going to be some nerd somewhere that goes, "Oh, this is a throwback to their Money in the Bank 2021 match when this is a callback to this when Rhea eventually beats her." Right now, I don't care about 2023. I care about right now. And Rhea,
right now, I wouldn't bet Rhea's going to be there in 2023.
Oh well,
I'm sorry. I know everybody listen. This is nothing again. She seems great in the ring. She might be.
The match was good. I got nothing against her work in the ring. The match was good.
This persona, this gimmick, this whatever you want to say, it's not working. It's not getting over. I'm sorry. If people like it, great for you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get to see it. It's not working. And you know what? I'm not the only one that doesn't think it's working because they yanked the belt off.
There's no way anybody could think this was good. The only thing I assume is Becky is going to come back at some point, and then it'll be Becky and Charlotte at SummerSlam. Let's hope Becky then gets her belt back, and whatever.
We can move on from. Yes, I think that there's two reasons for this match, and that's all I got to say to close this. They either are pulling the rug out from under Ripley and saying, it's just not there. Sorry, this game, we're not going with it. Or they're saying, sorry, honey, Charlotte's going to have a better buy rate at SummerSlam versus Becky.
Well, Charlotte is a heel.
Yeah.
and we need a heel face, and they have a history.
Right.
Yeah, let's do this. So then, out of nowhere, everybody on Earth starts having Peacock issues.
Oh,
Everybody. No matter what device you were on, something happened. There was some kind of glitch. Everybody had a problem.
it's
Yet you
every
had to
pay-per-view.
reload it, and you couldn't, and you couldn't, and you couldn't, and then finally you could, and then once you finally rebooted it, you were okay. But it was kind of a mess there for a minute. A lot of people were upset. Luckily, the only thing you missed was the build to the guys' Money in the Bank match and a few of the intros. So then we get to the match. Good match.
Yeah.
Johnny drip chance. Owens gets slammed on that ladder that was laying on its side, I guess. That was kind of cool. As you called it, Jinder comes out, messes with Drew. That sets up their SummerSlam match, Jinder and Drew. Ricochet, cool spot. He
He's still
walks the
flying.
ropes.
He's still flying to the back of the ring, to the back of the catering. I don't think that dude came down yet. That was freaking sick, man. This match was great. I freaking love this match.
Go ahead, Nick. Yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was awesome. It was a high impact. Ricochet, dude. I don't know. I hate to use the word, but he looks different. I'll just say it that a little bit bigger. As I don't know if he looks bigger. I'll just leave it at. He looks good. I don't know what they're doing with this guy.
They're finally pushing him a little bit.
And my only
concern what they're doing.
Is he can't talk. When I've heard he can't talk. So I don't know what, dude. Another guy, throw him a freaking Roman. I mean, there's something.
Well, dude, that's a guy. Okay, you got to accentuate the positive and hide the negatives. Okay, we know he can't talk. We've tried to have him talk, and he can't. Okay, so either have somebody talk for him or just don't have him talk. How about that? I don't remember seeing every face back in 1989 talking. The Blue Blazer wasn't talking. Obviously, he wasn't the biggest thing in the world, but not everybody needs to talk. Let his wrestling do the talking.
Yep. I like I said, Johnny Drip was over in this match. The fans were chanting for him.
Yeah.
Riddle had some big I thought for a second Riddle might do it, man. He was hitting everybody with RKOs and doing the snake viper thing. And I thought everybody had their moments, kind of the big names. Shinsuke was kind of just there.
He took a squirt gun to the face. Which is Johnny Drip's move.
Yeah.
So Big E wins. Big E wins. Yeah. You and I talked about going in. We thought it was Riddle or Big E, most likely Big E.
I wanted Riddle, would have bet money on Big E.
So Big E takes it. He obviously doesn't have to cash in tomorrow. But so he's got time. He's got a year. But is he ready? Who does he go up against? What does he do? Because right now he's on SmackDown. He can challenge anybody, but he ain't going to beat Roman. He's not beating Roman, and he's not beating Roman tomorrow or in 9 months. So what does he do? Where does this put Big E? I mean, he's obviously now semi-main event here. What's his future here?
I don't know, man. Because again, he's already fought Apollo. Seth Rollins is on SmackDown, but he seems to be going off with Edge here at SummerSlam
for at least a month. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, Shinsuke is a face, so I don't think you're going to see anything there. Who does this guy fight? Who else is on? I mean, a big enough draw on the card.
They have no heels again, man.
Right. I don't know who he fights.
They have no heels outside of Roman and Seth, and that's it. That's really it.
I mean, you're looking at, there's a lot of top guys on this card. I mean, I just don't see who he fights. I don't know. I don't know what they do with him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would think, Cena and Roman, at least for the next month, are going to be on their own, and Big E, because normally when someone wins the briefcase, they're kind of teasing it for the first few weeks. I don't think they're going to do that right now because Roman's going to be,
right
with Cena. So,
do they flip Cesaro?
no.
I mean,
Well, maybe, but
that guy's dead. Like, I mean, that guy's done.
Right.
I mean,
he
you
had a
pumped him up.
1 month build.
Yep, you pumped him up and put him in there, and he got beat by Roman. And then in his return fights with Seth Rollins, Seth came back and got revenge on him and beat him again. Not beat him. I mean, I know he beat him at Mania, but Seth beat him at Hell in the Cell, and I think Seth beat him in a rematch on SmackDown after that. What do you do with this? I mean, Sami Zayn, I don't want to see that.
Oh, he's nowhere near.
Right. Who else does he fight on SmackDown?
Yeah, I know. They got no heels.
They don't have any. That's why
they got Roman and Seth. That's it. That's all they got. Great match, though, man.
It was
great
awesome.
match. I will once again rip on the announcing. It was awful. It was just Jimmy yelling, "Ah! Oh! Ah!" after every freaking move.
Yeah.
Good grief, man. But no, very good match. The exact opposite of the ladies' match that didn't happen to be too good. Very good match. And then that was not the final. The final was Edge and Roman, which we talked about. Everyone who doesn't like Roman is going to shut us off, but I'm going to mark out for him one more time. Edge is in the ring, and he's in the ring, and he's in the ring. We're waiting. We're waiting. And then they hit Roman's music. They made you wait. They made you wait for this guy. And we've heard that Vince does that. Actually, they hit the music and he holds them back and says, no, don't go out yet. Don't go out yet. You make them wait.
And if you don't like
it, this is perfect for that gimmick.
It is. And you know what? If you don't like
it,
that's
it was
fine.
good.
I had to sit through The Undertaker doing this for 30 freaking years. So, you know what?
No, he actually was walking down the aisle. It just took forever.
God, yeah, you know what? As of right now, especially if Becky comes back, Ryan, we are looking at a star-packed SummerSlam. A real star. I mean, we're looking at Roman versus John Cena, WWE title.
Bang.
Lashley versus Goldberg or Lesnar, whoever. Hopefully Lesnar, probably Goldberg.
Bang.
Seth Rollins versus Edge.
Pretty big.
Becky Lynch, hopefully on a return here. I know versus Charlotte's not the most intriguing, but still getting Becky Lynch back is cool.
But that's your two best women, to be honest with you. Like, as far as workers and as far as, like, they're the two biggest women, one of which is the biggest. That's huge. That's huge. And I don't like Charlotte, but I'll give her credit. That's huge.
Yep.
Bianca Sasha
is going to be, I mean, right there. Those are big
matches.
Those are big matches.
5 huge matches.
Especially for your first back in front of people SummerSlam. This
in front of 40,000 people.
I'm excited for. I hope it. I'm not getting. I'm going to try to temper my excitement.
Who's Triple H fighting?
Oh man, hopefully no one. But yeah, you never know. Yeah, hey, you might come out of the woodwork.
I got to get in on this, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to miss the money train. But
no, and you haven't even mentioned the tag matches. You haven't even mentioned what's Kofi doing, what's Big E doing, what's the IC title, what's the US title. You haven't even mentioned any of that. So, what's Kalisto doing?
We'll find out. Hopefully, whatever show he's on.
I think he got to let go now that I say it. Yeah, absolutely. I think and again, it kind of goes against everything you and I have always said, because you and I, we don't want to keep seeing these one-off matches.
No.
I'll give them this, though. These ones will be ones we have not seen before, and they are ones that we've kind of wanted to see. So, and we have seen Cena Roman, but it was completely
different.
Completely different.
Yes. Yep. That's like saying Hogan Macho Man in like 85 or 6 was the same as Hogan Macho Man, or whenever they fought, wasn't the same thing. But yeah, I'm excited. We got a month to get there. I hope it's good stuff. This is the most I've been excited for this in a while, and I hope these one-offs, you had to do it. They don't have anybody else, and they have not built. There is no one big enough to main event. I mean, if you really didn't think about it, if Cena's not there, if maybe do you have to bring up Orton to the other show to put him against Roman? I mean, what do you do if Cena's not there?
And you and I were talking before, and it's going to be tough once Cena does his part-time run.
Right.
Lesnar's already done his part-time run. Goldberg's already done his part-time run, even though he's going to be here. There's a few other guys. The Rock obviously has. He will come back for one more match with his cousin. But Stone Cold obviously is done. The Undertaker's done. These guys are either done or close to done. Who's the Undertaker of the new generation? Who's the Cena? Who's the what people are going to tune into SummerSlam 2030 to see Dolph Ziggler fight whoever? People are going to tune in to see name the guy. There's nobody. They have not built anybody. No. Back then, yeah, you can bring the legends in. Who's the legend that they're going to bring in for the next? They haven't done it. It's bad enough they haven't built stars for today.
Right.
Well, for 20 years now, their formula is to bring in stars to fight today's stars. There are no today's stars right now other than Roman Reigns. Yep. I mean, Seth Rollins, man, he's really good. But
I love
who wants to see him in 20 years fight the next guy?
Right. Nobody. No, he's not. They're not the draw. They're not going to have it. They're going to be in serious trouble because you are at literally the end of the rope with these guys, Ryan. Yeah. This is it. Yep. Like you said, the John Cena, I mean, he may wrestle this. He may wrestle this this WrestleMania or a handful. I wouldn't even, a handful's a lot to me. Like
he's been gone for like 3 or 4 years now.
And making money hand over fist outside.
He's in like 8 movies right now.
Right. In blockbuster movies.
Well,
man.
And think about this. When he fought Roman in 2017, he was already kind of a part-timer then. That was the whole gimmick. Roman said to him, "Oh, you're a part-timer." That was like their face-to-face promo. And then Cena murdered him, like you mentioned. That was the gimmick 4 years ago. Now look at where you're at.
Yep.
So, and he's the last guy, man. He's the last of the Mohicans, dude. Your thoughts on the show in general? What do you give it? Thumbs up? Thumbs down?
I again, it's the taste in your mouth when you leave. Like I said, getting going pre-show, I was hyped because I'm in the SummerSlam set of mind. I knew that some of these big matches were coming. Some of these you thought, Becky coming back, John Cena coming back, Goldberg, all these people possibly coming back. I was hyped, and the Usos delivered with them. And then the pay-per-view, I thought, took a dive in the toilet for 2 matches. The women's Money in the Bank, and then the Viking Raiders, AJ Amos, whatever the hell the guy's name is. And then I thought the close was great. The Ripley match in Flair, I didn't care for it. But like you said, it wasn't a bad match. But the title matches, they both went the way we thought they should go. And then it ended and left you wanting more. The men's Money in the Bank match was a good, very good Money in the Bank match. Interesting ending of what they're going to do with Big E, and especially because I think Kofi's going to play into this.
I hope.
I give this pay-per-view like a thumbs up, man. I would say it's one of the better ones they've put on.
I was about to say, we keep hearing, and you and I rip on it, we keep hearing now for over a year, oh, it was a great pay-per-view. It was a great pay-per-view because the matches are good. But they never go anywhere. Yeah, they're great worked matches. Kind of like the what we mentioned with Rhea and Charlotte. But, okay, where's it going? There's no story here. It's a dead end story. You could see where a lot of this is going tonight. And on top of some good matches outside of the first couple that we mentioned that were bad, the women's Money in the Bank match, you could see where all this is going. And you could see even Big E, we don't know where he's going, but he's a new guy that people want to cheer for.
Yep.
Okay, he's got the Money in the Bank. Well, now he has something. I don't know when he's going to do it, what he's going to do with it, but he's got something. He's got somewhere to go in the future now. I thought, obviously, the Cena thing was amazing. I am okay with the Charlotte thing as much as I don't like either one of them. I think Becky is going to do something here. So I'm okay with that. Kofi, I hope that they do something with Kofi. So I think this is because you see where they're going with stuff, or you assume
there's angles,
this
there's
might
stories.
Yeah. Shocking, right? Who knew?
There's even Jinder Mahal and Drew have a story now.
Exactly.
You know,
I think this is the best pay-per-view they have done in at least 2 years. And I'd have to sit here and think about, Backlash 2011. I can't think off the top of my head. But this is at least the best pay-per-view they have done since before the pandemic. Maybe Royal Rumble last year in Houston was a very good pay-per-view. This might be the best pay-per-view since then.
Yeah, right, Ryan, and we keep saying ROH has great matches. Impact has good matches.
Do you care?
AEW has good matches.
Do you care?
There's a place down the road 5 minutes from me. This local little group bought out a freaking storage unit. There's a ring inside it. I've attended. It was like $5. That's some good workers in there.
It's
man.
right down where? That's what I thought you were going to say.
But there's good workers in there. Yeah. Stop saying we've got angles, man. We've got stories. A good worker today is a dime a dozen.
Dime a dozen.
They are. They really are. A guy with charisma, a guy with mic skills, a good story. That's the exact opposite. I think maybe 1 out of a dozen. If you're lucky on that. I'm excited for some stories.
Yep. And I think we're going to get them, man. This SummerSlam could end up, and again, might be a bunch of one-offs, but it could be the best SummerSlam since 2002. I mean, it might be the best SummerSlam in close to 20 years if we get everything we think we might get.
And it goes in a decent way. Yes.
There's some star-studded stuff here.
Yes, this is going to be a packed card.
Even Jinder against Drew. You can do some 3-man band stuff here.
Yep.
You can call back to that. You can get some deep stuff here. That could be good.
I can't lie. And this is and Ryan, I'll piggyback one more time on what you said, how this is the best pay-per-view. I have not been this excited to watch Raw and SmackDown in a long time. I will be watching both shows this week.
Yeah.
And eagerly looking forward to them. That's to me how the pay-per-view was good.
Yeah. Well, and a normal person who's not looking online or whatever, they probably don't know. We assume Goldberg is showing up tomorrow. The average, spoiler, should have said something. Spoiler alert. If you're not online, if you're not listening to things, that's what we have been told. Goldberg is showing up tomorrow. We assume to go after Lashley. Obviously, we know what Cena's doing Friday. Cena will be there Friday. And I'm looking forward to that. I want to see Roman, and I don't think it's going to be like before where they're shooting on each other, but I want to see this new Roman go at Cena.
I just want to see.
I want to see it.
You know what? It's like the same thing. You only get to see LeBron for a period of time. You only get to see Crosby or Tom Brady or the elites of these sports. Take it in, man. This might be one of the last times you see John Cena in a ring. Rather than boo him, maybe you take a second to enjoy and really take it in because, folks, he's a top 10 all time.
Well, and the last time he was around, you saw that. People actually did. And then tonight, massive pop. But last time when he was around, when he showed up at Mania 35 as the rapper to get in Elias's face, the people cheered him because he was gone. And they're like, you know what? We miss you. Like, we were wrong. Right. You know, we might not totally love you, but the crap was a lot better when you were here. And
maybe boo him like people booed the $1 Million Man. You know, we booed the $1 Million.
Love to hate him.
You'd love to hate. That's fine, and that's great. Enjoy that, but understand the product has been worse without him.
Yep. Absolutely, man. It should be a fun month. I don't even know when SummerSlam is. Summerfest. It's sometime in August.
What show am I even on? These t-shirts are too
I don't
small.
know. Yeah, Summerfest is some point in August, probably 4 weeks from now. It should be a good build. I can't wait. I'm with you.
Too.
I will be watching Friday. I will be watching tomorrow.
This is what wrestling is. This is what makes I'm sorry, a 5-star match doesn't make me tune in on Monday.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
No, you're right.
This is what is Kofi gonna say? Who's Bobby's next opponent? What has happened with John Cena and Drew?
What's Charlotte gonna say?
When will we see Becky?
What's Drew gonna say?
This is wrestling, man.
Yes, stars.
This is wrestling.
It's gonna be great, dude. I can't wait, man. This next month is gonna be awesome. SummerSlam should be awesome as well. For the first time in a very long time, I am excited to see where we're going here. If even for one story per night. That's more than I was before. So
you got it.
Very good, dude. It's very good. Nick, appreciate it. Thanks for staying up late, buddy.
Oh, I'm glad I did. This is great pay-per-view.
Great. Best show they've had in 2 years, man.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
Pleasure's all yours, Bucky boys.